Hello, my loves. Let's talk about neurodivergence and hunger and how we do not feel it exactly the same as neurotypical people do. So, I'm ADHD, which is a mix of autism and ADHD, which is a perfect storm of events. I'm also in perimenopause. So, the struggle has been real as far as navigating how to keep my mental, physical, and emotional health in line, right? And one of the things I wondered was, why is it that I feel the side effects and not the actual hunger pangs itself? So I did my research on it, and here's what came up. There is something called an interoception rather. And that basically is the synapses telling your brain, it gives you that rumbling belly feeling so that you're able to know, oh, my stomach is kind of rumbling. That means that I'm hungry, right? So for neurodivergent people, the interoception signal is either too weak or it's scrambled. So we feel the side effects of it before we feel the actual hunger. That rumbling, it's too weak of a signal for we don't recognize it. For numerous factors. If we're in hyperfocus mode, then our brain actually suppresses it altogether. Everything gets shut off when we're in hyperfocus mode because we're so focused on what we're doing, nothing else exists, right? And so the minute you come out of that, everything that your brain was suppressing comes roaring back in. So now you're going to get, and the thing is, the side effects are now way louder than any discomfort in your stomach telling you that you're hungry. The side effects are, oh, you're gonna faint because you feel like because your blood sugar crashed, irritability, headaches, all of that. You're gonna feel the side effects of it before you would ever feel any sort of a hunger as well, because your brain misses the subtle signal and doesn't tell you that this is what you're going through, right? And then there's something as well called alexithymia. Basically what that is that you can't identify what you're feeling. You just know you're feeling something, but you can't identify. You wouldn't be able to identify hunger as one of the things that you're feeling. You just know you're feeling a lot of things all at once, and you just generally feel bad, right? But you can't tell that it's actually hunger that's causing it. Also, there's sensory processing differences. Hunger may be too subtle to even notice, basically. So when you do notice it, it's like loud, painful sensations that you're going to be feeling. And that will let you know then what the hunger is. So I always find it so fascinating when I'm researching. Look, I am not a nutritionist by any means. I am just a girl out here living her life and sharing the lessons that I learned along the way, right? So everything that I'm about to tell you and telling you now, feel free to do your own deeper research. It's more that I experience my life and then I do research on it to understand it, and then I share it with y'all. So I find it so fascinating how neurodivergent brain works, how something as small as a weakened messaging synapses system or scrambling along the way, how that can affect something so major, you know what I mean? And then we can get really overstimulated as well once we're getting into that area, and then that can affect your mental health. Like the way it's all connected, I've been having like mental health issues as far as like just feeling very I guess depressed in a way, but also feeling like my entire system is suppressed. But I also know within myself that it is a physical thing that is affecting my emotional and mental health. And it's just, I always say it starts in spirit, then goes to mind, then goes to body. But sometimes you will feel it in your body first, and your body is the one that will tell you we're out of sync here. We're not in sync as we should, right? And so I find this so interesting that this is what happens with our diet, with our hunger as well. Just the very act of feeling hungry is skewed. And so, okay, now how can we fix this, right? Or how can we manage it? There's no fixing neurodivergence. How can we manage it to survive in the healthiest way that we can in this neurotypical world? The way that we do this is we have to eat 5 times a day, at least. You have to set your clock, your alarm for every 2 to 3 hours, and you need to eat consistently because your brain will not tell you that you're hungry, and because there's a chance you will get zoned in and focused on something and just tune out everything else. You need to set an alarm that every couple hours, every 2 to 3 hours, you're going to be eating something. One of the things that when I was doing my research, it said was neurodivergent people. Now, keep in mind it's a spectrum, right? But you're supposed to be eating within the first 30 to 45 minutes of you waking, because to basically start balancing that in the beginning. But here's where I put in a caveat, right? Because for instance, some people who are autistic wake up and they're not hungry at all. Like, they won't eat till probably noon or something like that, because you just don't feel hunger when you wake up. You're not hungry for breakfast, so you miss it for the most part. But the problem then is that your body still needs a sustenance. Whether you are hungry or not, your body still needs a sustenance. And so in that respect, what you're going to do is have some sort of a broth. So you can do a miso soup. So I'm vegan, so all of my options for my diet is all vegan options. But if you want to just have bone broth, if you want to blend up some soup and just have that, just drink that, you can do that. But something that's going to give you, I do a miso soup or just vegetable broth, generally speaking, to start your morning. I wake up when I'm hungry. So not right out the gate, but I'm not one of those that I can't eat until noon. That's not Janae. Maybe that's as I said, it's a spectrum, and I'm ADHD, not fully autistic, but yes. So at that point, then what you're going to want to do is have some sort of liquid protein, something that's going to get your body going and flowing, but that won't tell your brain, oh, this is actual food and I can't digest it, right? You having some sort of a broth is going to be a way for you to get those nutrients that you need, and it's gentle enough on your system, which really, when you wake up in the morning, you want something that's not too heavy on your system regardless, not too heavy in your stomach regardless, right? But so with the diet part, it's really better to batch your food. And I do this, I don't pick I've seen something pick a certain day and batch your food. That's not how I flow. When I have the energy, when the energy hits me to do something is when I will make it. Because otherwise, I can't just pick a certain day. Because what if I decide I want to pick Monday and I wake up on Monday and I'm exhausted for some reason, some vibration in the atmosphere. I am exhausted and I don't have the spoons for it. Then I will make myself feel bad because, oh my gosh, it's Monday, I'm supposed to batch today, but I'm too exhausted and I can't do it. So I don't even put that pressure on myself. Literally, when I have the energy to do so is when I set aside the time to do so, right? Because, for instance, right now I'm doing a cleanse of sorts, so I'm making soups is what I'm mostly having. But it only takes 30 minutes. But, with us, we see the steps before I see all the steps that go into making the soup, and I'm exhausted already thinking about it. But so do it when you feel like you have the energy to do it, and batch as much as you can. Because what's going to happen, I'm going to give you from my experience. Sometimes I hear the alarm and I turn the alarm off because if I'm focused on something, I just dismiss, and then that's it. And then I keep going, right? So sometimes what I have to do is actually get an alarm clock itself and put it across where I actually have to get up and turn it off. Because at that point, now I'm up. So now I have to go, right? I don't have to, but now I'm up. So the hardest part is just getting up and pulling yourself away from whatever it is that you're doing, right? So when that happens, just give yourself grace, because it is a struggle to stay on task, right? I did a TikTok video where I basically was just crying. I was having a really rough day, and I was crying over the fact that it feels like it's so hard just to be an adult. It's so hard for me to even, I have to set timers to eat, and it was just a day where I felt like it was just I'm just failing, right? You have to give yourself grace and be okay, you know what? This is just a system that I have to put in place to help heal my body and to help keep it how it needs to be running. And if I miss an alarm, then that's okay. But that's why it's important to batch your food, because at that point, you can get up and get something quickly. So I tend to really only like warm meals. So, but if you don't mind having like making like a chickpea salad or something like that, or something quick like you can do like that, do that for yourself. As I said, I tend to like, will make soups and batch that and then warm that up. I have, my sensory issue is consistency. So sometimes I'll be eating something that I absolutely love, and then my brain will be like, this feels disgusting in our mouth and we're never eating this again. So for me, when I have soup, I actually blend it because it just makes it so much easier. I still get the nutrients, it tastes good, and then, but it's more like I'm drinking it than anything else, right? So have those things ready. Have snacks ready. I have a bag of, I bought walnuts and I mixed in sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, and golden raisins. I like golden raisins rather than the dark raisins better. I think they're also a bit healthier from what I understand. Mix that and then you can have that as a snack. In the morning, I'm going to share one of the grains that I use that's really fantastic. It's called teff, T-E-F-F. It's Ethiopian ancient grain, I want to say, but it's very similar to porridge once you blend it. So blend the grain first before you add water or do anything else, and make it that way. And then it has a really nice consistency. And what's cool about it is that I batch that as well, right? Whenever I make enough that it's going to last a couple days. Every time when I'm warming it up, I blend it first in a little bit of soy milk. And it's so nice and like creamy porridgey. It's actually wild how the more it gets better when you're like, the leftovers are better than the original, basically. But it's really healthy for you. But with teff, it is good for maintaining your hunger, basically, for nourishing your body. But you do want to have a healthy fat/protein along with it. So I add sunflower butter to mine, because as I said, I'm vegan, so I add nut butter to mine. But you can add hemp seeds if you want. On the side, you can make yourself like a hard-boiled egg or scrambled eggs or something. Avocado is also fantastic with some sea salt on top of it. You could even do an egg on the avocado, I guess, if if you're a meat eater or whatever. But you want to have some sort of fat or protein, because that's going to help with the whole process as well. As I said, I add nut butter to mine, and it's fantastic. So teff in the morning is going to be a really good one. What else I add to it is goji berries. So I eat a ton of Asian food because vegan and Asian food go hand in hand. So I love goji berries. This is the brand that I got. I got it on Amazon. It's called Heaven Mountain. When I am making my teff in the morning, I add the goji berries to it and let it simmer in there. You can add it. You can eat it on its own. It's a superfood. It's considered a superfood. It fights stress. It's good for everything. They also in China use it in a dish that helps you like with anti-aging, basically. So it's kind of like acai berries in the idea of it being a superfruit, right? And anyways, so it's fantastic for that. So I add it in there. You can put it actually just in like a cup of hot water, put some goji berries in there, and it's fantastic for that too. But I put it in with the teff porridge in the morning, and that's really good. Also, herbs to use, okay? Hibiscus is fantastic. Hibiscus is also fantastic if you are also in perimenopause or a woman. It is good for balancing hormones. So hibiscus is fantastic for that. In Jamaica, we call it sorrel, but it's hibiscus here in the West. It's good for stabilizing blood sugar and also, as I said, for balancing hormones. So I have hibiscus tea. I also like tulsi. Tulsi I use in my spiritual practice as well because it's symbolizing wealth and abundance and prosperity. But it's a great tea to help you with focus, to calm your nervous system. There's a brand that I use when I don't feel like steeping my own hibiscus tea. The brand is Organic India, but they actually have a Tulsi hibiscus tea This is a really good one. I like this one a lot. I'm very finicky about the bag teas that I get. I tend to get loose tea and make my own because I feel like it's more potent that way. A lot of the bag teas that you can get, it's not as potent, but I love Organic India. They're very good with their tea. So the Tulsi hibiscus is really good for grounding, as I said, for focus, and it's tasty as well. So hibiscus and Tulsi are great. Mushrooms. I am a mushroom fan. I actually had to be my own guinea pig because I have epilepsy. So a lot of things that I want to try, there's no testing done for it yet because it's very chancy to test on people with epilepsy for certain things. So I tried mushrooms originally for meditation. And then I started researching mushrooms just generally for health on its own, right? Like reishi, lion's mane, and all of that. And so a brand that I absolutely love is Om. And this one is actually called Brain Fuel. You take 3 pills of it a day, but it's a mushroom blend of, I want to say it's lion's mane, reishi, cordyceps as well, I think is also in there. So it's like a mushroom blend. They have different ones though. They have some that are just only lion's mane, some that are cordyceps and reishi. So the Om company itself has a bunch of different ones. This one is particularly for cognitive health, for focus and brain fog, because that is a major thing that I struggle with. But they also have one for immune support. They have one for anxiety as well. So mushrooms are going to be fantastic for anything you need, honestly. Do keep in mind, I'm going to pause real quick. When you are, because one of the things when I was doing research, I had asked like DeepSeek, which is this AI, I asked it about information on diet and everything. And it made a good point to say, when you are trying out supplements, try them one at a time every 3 days. So if you're going to incorporate a supplement or anything like that, or any of these herbs or plants, do it one at a time and then see, okay, after 3 days, how do I feel? All right, now let me introduce the next supplement that I want to add, because that's a great way to track and see if you have a reaction. You don't want to add all of these in at one time. I mean, the plants and everything, it's fine to do, but there are side effects even with herbs. So this is also something to look into, right? Okay, we're going on a little side quest here. With herbalism, plants, all of that, they help with certain issues that you have, right? They're healing, but they're meant to replace medication. But there's a process with that as well. So if you're already on, let's say, medication for high blood pressure or diabetes or anything like that, some of these herbs and supplements are not for you because they counteract that, because they on their own are supposed to be healing in that respect, but if you're already on meds for it, it makes it worse. So this is why I say always double check first before you start any. Just because it's natural doesn't mean it can't kill you. Doesn't mean it can't have an adverse reaction to your body, right? So always do further research, no matter who it is, even if it's a certified herbalist. Like, just continue, do your own research as well and back it up. You can ask your doctor, but here's the thing that I have noticed. If they don't know, they don't know. If they haven't done their own research on what that particular herb or plant will do, they can't really confidently give you advice on it, right? They know what their medicine can do, but they may not know exactly how that particular herb that you want to try is going to affect the medicine that you have. So do your own research. You can ask your doctor, but I'm just saying, they speak on what they're taught. If they're not taught that, if they don't learn it on their own, then they're not going to be able to be a good source for your information for you. So, okay, back to the list. Ginger and lemon in water is going to be fantastic with a pinch of salt. That's going to be really good for hydration, because also we do not get enough water in our system as neurodivergent people. Some people, there is a girl that I followed on TikTok and she's autistic, and she actually says the way that she forces herself to drink more water is she gets a really ugly water container and it forces her to drink out of it just so she can get it out of her face. I am the opposite. I get a water bottle that's super cute and I keep it by my side. And then I want to drink out of it. Like this one that I have, I got it when I went to China. It's a little panda and it's an angel. And I love it. And it's adorable. And I'm obsessed. And so I literally carry it with me everywhere. And that's how I get my water. But I slice up ginger and about a quarter of a lemon at a time. I squeeze it in there with just a pinch of salt. The salt is going to help, once again, especially for women in perimenopause, the salt is going to help absorb hydration. Because what I was finding in perimenopause is that I would drink a ton of water and I would still be thirsty. But peeing, like, I would pee all the time, which was so frustrating. Because I'm like, is my body even retaining, is it retaining the water or not? What is happening? And so what I did for the research, it said, honestly, your body may want salt. So that's also where miso soup comes into great play if you're doing that, or any sort of a broth. But drinking water with just a pinch of salt, some lemon, ginger, and that's going to be fantastic for hydration and digestion as well, right? One tip, let me go back. One tip for the hibiscus is to have it, either an hour before you eat. Don't have it with your meal, basically. When I was doing my research, it said hibiscus tea is best had actually on it either first thing in the morning or at night. You can drink it during the day, but not with you eating. There's something about the combination that like is not. No, don't do that together, right? Have it one or the other. Best on an empty stomach, basically. Something else that's going to be fantastic for you, because good sleep is also going to play a part in your digestion and overall health, gut health, generally speaking. I have started having, now not every day, because consistency for neurodivergent people is a struggle. I do my very best. Once again, going back to saying, be gentle with yourself when you're doing these things. I have a cherry juice. The brand is called Antioxidant Solutions. It is tart cherry juice, but I get the one that has zinc and magnesium in it. Have like a glass of that, a small glass at night. Or if it's just you drinking, chug it, take 4 big gulps of it. And it really, really helps me to get to sleep at night. Do I still spirit walk in my dreams? Absolutely. That's never going to change though. That's never going to change. I always go places. I always go places in my dreams. But it definitely helps me to get to sleep quicker. And zinc and magnesium are so important for overall health. So that, honestly, tart cherry juice, generally speaking, is going to be good because it helps produce melatonin. But partnering it with that zinc and magnesium is chef's kiss. So Antioxidant Solutions is the name of the brand, and it's in a dark blue bottle. Okay, and what else? That's pretty much it. So that's what I want you to think of for your diet. 5 times a day, set timers, tailor it to your own diet and what you want. Do further research for yourself. As I said, I am not a nutritionist. I am just sharing my experience and my knowledge along the way. Ooh, add turmeric. Turmeric is a staple for me. That's what I put in my green soup when I make it. It's a ton of turmeric. That's going to be fantastic for the body as well. If you do drink caffeine, coffee, 2 cups a day, what I was suggested was to not drink coffee after 2 o'clock. That may be difficult for some of us, for some of you, but try your best not to drink coffee after 2 p.m. because that's also going to throw everything off. And it can cause a crash as well. But honestly, like I say, if you're doing the OM brain fuel in the morning and you take 3 of them, this is capsules, take 3 of them in the morning, you may not even really need more than 1 cup of coffee anyway. Honestly, technically speaking, neurodivergence people, we should not be on caffeine at all, but you're gonna have to pry coffee on my cold dead hands right now because I'm never giving up coffee. So that's not happening. But yes, just also for the own brand, going back to mushroom, they have actual straight powder, and I do prefer powder and tinctures over capsules. It's just that the brain fuel was, I could only get it in capsules at the time. I prefer it because I feel like I feel it quicker than I do when I'm having a capsule. Now these are vegetable capsules, so they do break down quicker than the regular ones, than the other ones. But I would always prefer a powder or a tincture over a capsule. So if you see a brand, if you see one of their things and you want to try it, see if you can get the powder instead of, I like the mushroom complex, but also lion's mane on its own is fantastic. But yes, so that's my advice for you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you have any tips on what's helped you with your diet as a neurodivergent person, please share. I love feedback, and I would love to add to mine, because as with most things with neurodivergent people, what works one week does not work the next. Or yeah, literally, methods that work one week won't work the next week. You know, I could say, yeah, set alarms every couple hours, and then there may be a week to where I'm so focused on doing stuff that I just keep pressing dismiss. Miss, like 5 hours later, I come out of my haze and I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying. So anyways, you just kind of have to adjust and flow with things as they come. But anyway, that's it for me. I love you guys, and I will talk to you later.